Okay. And thank you again to for people for having your videos on. I always appreciate that, especially as I'm looking at people. It's always good to see some people, see their eyes, see what's going on. I'm not this guy that lives in the past. Okay. Oh man, food just doesn't taste the way it used to taste, now that microwaves have been invented, well, hey, if I can get warm food in 20 seconds and it doesn't take me an hour to, sit there and wait for a meal, I'm all for it. Okay. So I'm not some guy that's like anti-technology, anti-new things coming up. I'm not that person. Okay. I now, like anything, change is uncomfortable and it brings about uncertainty. And so it makes me nervous, gives me the same anxiety, but I love innovation. Love it. I don't like it. I love innovation. But I also know there are some differences. And you got to be aware of it. And so a lot of, I like this is kind of Friday morning for me, for us is not Saturday, now I know we have some new people on here, but Friday morning is a form of therapy for me. It's kind of like, I get with my kind of the people that are a little bit more committed and I can kind of just talk things out and see what we're doing. Okay. So obviously you guys know, where I am, where I live, Virginia, offices, we got shut down. I'm sure other parts of the country got shut down a little bit harder, but we're probably, up near the top of complete shutdown. I mean, our offices, we weren't allowed to have people in there. Gyms were shut down, all that stuff. And then, we pivoted very well. We started using Zoom, and we were able to extend our reach. I'm looking here, at say Tanya, she's here, and I hadn't seen her in years. She was at now we see each other all the time on Zoom and stuff like that. And so, people that can plug in. We have people from Georgia, Colorado. We have different people, different places now in North Carolina, and we're able to extend our reach, and people can kind of plug in. And it's great. There's a lot of positives with this. Okay. And we were able to become extremely productive. Some of you guys know this. Some of you guys on this Zoom this morning, I used to do a thing. I call it my Zoom team. This is before the pandemic. I had people meeting. I do it once a week on, I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday night, because we had people from Chicago and different places, and we meet. And so I was already liking the virtual remote Zoom thing even before the pandemic. The pandemic just accelerated it. And then we dove in the rabbit hole, and now we're kind of, this is a bad word, but we're kind of stuck in the rabbit hole, and we don't know how to get out of it. Okay. And let me just give you some context. Now we do Zoom, and it's awesome. You can roll out of bed. You can, you can turn your video off if you're not in an appropriate place. You can plug in, you can get something, all that stuff, right? And the meetings are good, and you can just turn it off, and you can go walk to your family. You can walk outside. You can go back to your job. You whatever you are doing, it's literally 1 hour. And it's great. And we are very, very productive. We have had the most productive 18 months, 2 years in my entire career. And it's great. Many of our incomes are up. You're meeting clients all over the place. You don't have to drive. You don't get dark housed, really. All these things that happen. Sometimes you go to the appointment and be bad. You wasted your whole evening. You drive home, you're steaming. You come home and you just yell at your whole family, right? And you don't have that anymore. You do the appointment, it's not there. Whatever happens, you turn it off, right? Back to normal. A lot of positives. And I want to, and some people are going to understand what I say when I say this. This is great for term insurance and mutual funds and selling financial products. It's great, incredible. But I want you to understand this, and there's a few people on here, they know exactly what I'm talking about. That's not what this company meant to me. That's not what kept me in this company, was selling financial products. As much as I love to sell, and I love the margins, and I love making money, and I love what we do for people, and I love the crusade. You know, the other day, you know, I'm very dramatic when it comes to my kids. So this is a drama story, but you know, anybody with parents will understand. All right. My son's 11. All right. He's a preteen. He's going to be 12 in a couple months. And like any parent, my kids are my entire world. And I'm a helicopter parent, right? I vowed I would never be that person, but I am that guy, right? I'm always, you know, because I'm a little undersized, I can even get in fights with my son with other kids. People don't even really know, you know what I'm saying? I'm that kind of parent. You know, I'm always with my son and my daughter. I mean, I'm that guy. I'm yelling at the coaches. I'm yelling at I'm that dad. I'm always around my parents. I mean, my kids. Always taking them places, making sure they're protected. You know, oh, you know, my son. You know, they're like, come here, blow your nose. I'm that guy, embarrassing my kid. You know what I mean? I'm that dad. All right. And the other day, I was dropping my son off, and you know, usually I kind of walk him in, do certain things. And this wasn't a mean thing that he said, but he said, you know, don't worry about it, Dad. I don't need you. And he gave me a hug. And, you know, I was like, man, you sure you don't need me? But it was that's my job, right? My job is to help get my kids independent so they can do things without me. Now, I'll always be there, you know, God willing, all that stuff. But you know, it was cool that he said that, right? I don't need you. And it was bittersweet. And it was just something minor, but that is the end game. And, you know, I think about what I got from this company, what I got from this team, what I got from this opportunity, my confidence, my belief, my ability to never let people intimidate me. I got my swagger back. I became a better person I'm not talking about the financial services. I had goals, I had ambitions, I had dreams. You know, we had an office environment. I'm giving you a little history. We had people, and you can post in the chat. We recruited people, right? Basically in the DC metropolitan area. And there are probably at least 5 or 10 people here on this Zoom right today. We had an office, and the office was such an incredible source of energy, belief, great environment. We had, I don't know, 20, 30 people move closer to the office. They would move, they would uproot their family and say, you know what? I want to be closer to the power source. I want to be around this all the time. And we'd spend 10, 12, 15, 16 hours a day at the office, just being around people. High energy. You couldn't come in negative. You couldn't come in down. You couldn't come in complaining. It taught me little things, how to dress for success, how to walk around the right way, how to have a proper handshake, how to greet somebody, how to speak to people, how to interview somebody, how to get somebody started, how to introduce people to my leaders, how people would introduce people to me. That stuff is not happening. Now, like I said, Zoom is great. It's great for term insurance and it's great for investments. But we have to find a way to create that change agent of an environment that many people understand when they got involved in this company. because that's that glue. That is what got you to grind every day. And if that's missing, it might be good for some individuals, but for the majority of people, it's not. I wouldn't be here. I'm just telling you that right now. Me personally, I would not be here if it wasn't for 15 years of a strong, healthy office environment. Taught me how to recognize people, compete with people, victory, defeat, do your best. These are things not taught in a book. It's not taught in college. We taught that every week. Mental toughness, overcoming adversities. Success takes time. I remember always saying that to people. You know, I have a saying in my house, right? Because I try to talk like my kids, right? So I can communicate with them, right? The road to success is easy, said no one ever. And so, you know, as we start this month and this year, right? Like, look, I'm just telling you, every single person in the world and in the country right now, for sure, they're always looking for a faster, easier, more comfortable, more convenient way. Don't let that be you. That ain't going to work. It doesn't work in anything. I see it with my kids. It doesn't work. I had a meeting with my base shop a couple of weeks ago, and I talked about this. I said, you know, outside of the normal selfishness of parents wanting their kids to go back to school because, you know, it's just not a great situation, right? I mean, you know, just getting angry, you know, being a teacher, you know, yelling at your kids. The ultimate reason why the kids are back in school, they weren't learning. That's why. You can say, well, parents have to work and this and that. All that's true. But the number one reason, kids were not learning. They call it a lost year because kids did not learn in front of the computer. And while we can learn, there is some opportunities here. It's not the same. It's not the same. And so, you know, look, I've been telling you guys to do certain things, watch parties, create office environments, meet at the office, meet at each other's homes. And if right now you're a single agent and you're remote, okay, that's okay. There's still a lot of benefit. You can still do virtual offices. You can, you know, there's so many things that you can plug into, but you have to plug in. You know, my parents would say this, and anybody knows that this is true, you know, that my parents would always say this when I was kind of a teenager and going through my rebellious stage. They say, you know, nothing good happens that late at night. Anybody ever hear that? Or their parents always say, and you know, they were not 99, not 98, they were 100% accurate. 100%. If I was staying out late, nothing good was happening. Nothing good was happening. When you're away, nothing good is happening. You know that. You're not thinking about your goals. You're not thinking about your business. You're not thinking about your numbers. Now, obviously, I don't want you in here working 24 hours a day, but for a period of time, you have to be singular focused on making things happen. So, you know, anyways, those are some of the things I'm thinking about in the next month and year of how we're going to create the environment that creates the proper change for you. Okay, because, you know, I used to say this all the time in the office and, you know, in my training, say, if, you know, if you want to change your life, you have to change your life, right? You're not going to, your bank account doesn't change until you change, right? I mean, so like everybody wants their life to change, but then they don't want to change their life. They don't want to change their routine. They don't want to change how they act. They don't want to change who they associate with. And it doesn't work like that. And even if you were to get the money because something happened and you made a lucky investment, you lose it anyway, because that's what happens to everybody that is not prepared for success. They get a handle on it and then what? They lose it in a second. And if you have the right programming, you can lose all the money in the world and you'll get it right back. Why? Because you have the right programming. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, that this business is not just chasing those goals. It's the pursuit that makes you the proper person. And that's what our environment that we're trying to create in a different way. And like I said, stop looking for a fast, easy, convenient way to become successful. It doesn't work. It's a lot of commitment, and write this down too. It's a lot of recommitment every day. You have to recommit. You have to get your priorities in order every day, because the world is filled, especially now, with nothing but distractions. To take you away from what you want to accomplish, which is reaching your potential, hitting your goal, being part of something big, growing something, being somebody, winning, proving everybody wrong. So, and I say that and I get very passionate because I wouldn't be here without all that. I really wouldn't. And I don't take that lightly. You know, I mean, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have my family. I wouldn't have obviously the financial success, but even the business success, and even the the internal things that I'm proud of myself that nobody else sees, that, just, I know where I was. I know who I was. I know where I came from. And I'm sure everybody, that too, right? I was not feeling great about myself. I did not have high self-esteem. I was not a confident person. I never thought I could lead a group. And this business did that for me. So that's why I want you to, I had a training the other day, respect the process, right? Like, not just trust the process, but respect it. And the more you put into this, the more you're going to get out of it. You don't put anything in, you're not going to get anything out. So, I wanted to open up with that. Now, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we've been covering the last week. I think Josh helped me with this last week. But I wanted to talk about some recruiting stuff. Now, there's some, I just wanted to kind of cover the differences of what's available right now in our automated recruiting system. Just for our new people, so they know, kind of the differences, and maybe we'll post some things to the chat so you can watch them. But you have to find a way to create your distribution system. All right. You have to find a way to grow your distribution system of new people, of licensed agents, of people producing, of people recruiting, of people showing up, and how to introduce our opportunity to people in a professional way. And these are two of the methods that we have right now. Obviously, some people may have different methods. Some people might have smaller group intimate meetings. I know some people are doing events where they're doing op nights on their own, once a month, once a week. You can do whatever you want. These are some of the things that are available to everybody. And I wanted to go over some of the key differences just so people understand it. All right. Obviously, the more people that you expose to the business, the more people that are going to catch it, the more people are going to get excited, the more people are excited, then you grow your business. All right. So here are the two options that, are kind of available for recruiting. And I wanted to go over some key differences. One, you've heard this, we have an animated video that you can send out. It's an on-demand link. Once they fill out the registration, the video will start. We can also send it out through Vimeo, which everybody can have access to. We have a Vimeo video where you don't have the tracking capability, but you can send this out to people. Okay, the video, and they're trimming it, but it's about 18 minutes. Sometimes it's less, depending on the version of the video that you have. And it covers 7 questions: why people struggle with money, what can I do to be on the best path for myself financially, how can I be a financial guide for others if I'm not a master of this, what tools and concepts do we teach, who made this video and why, how do I start, and how do I get paid? How hard is it to do it? How hard is it to do this for real? And then they can pick a path 1, 2, or 3. And Josh, you can post to the chat what those different paths are, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. So the animated video is a cartoon. It's a motion graphics video. It's not a cartoon, but it's animated. It's slides. It's motion. It's a motion picture. It's a narrated voice in the background. So there's no person doing it. Some people like that. Obviously, it's extremely short, which is good. I think that's really good that it's short. It's not long. And then you guys have most of you probably have seen my webinar, which is a lot longer. Okay, it's 43 minutes. I like to think it moves pretty fast. It's a lot more information. Obviously, I talk about myself, my story. I introduce myself. It's going to be more personal to our hierarchy, our team. And then they get an individual who's me, right? And that could be good or bad, right? I have a certain story. I have a certain way of communicating. Maybe the video hits more people. It could be because there's no individual person in there. You know, sometimes people might relate to people that look like them, talk like them, all that stuff. So I'm throwing everything out there, the pros and the cons. I go through the cash flow quadrant, which I've obviously gotten a lot of positive feedback with that part of the presentation, because I go over employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. And I go over the right side, the passive income side versus the active income side, trading time for money. And then especially I hit home for a few minutes on destroying the employee quadrant. Okay, always remember that. This is a great part-time opportunity, but people who do really well here, they don't like working for other people. It drives them crazy. Nuts. And I destroy the employee quadrant, revenues minus expenses is profits. Then I go over the company credibility and I talk about, how we were founded, what we're doing. I use the bridge, I do the wheel, and then I do a client before and after, right? What a client looks like before and after. And then I do how I've always closed the op meeting in all my interviews, the licensing, brokerage, distribution, compensation, and then the 5 reasons to start. 1, part-time, 2, dissatisfied with their career, 3, financial, 4, run a business, 5, helping people. And then there's kind of a call to action. All right. Now, the animated video is shorter. It collects their contact information. It tracks when someone starts and finishes if you use Link Magnet. And most of the leaders, they have some sort of tracking system, so you can talk to them about that. It tells you which path they choose, which product services they may be interested in. I think, and when I say warm, both of these can be used warm and cold, but I think best practices within the hierarchy is people are using the animated video more on the warm market. So if you know somebody, they're sending it out, watch this, blah, blah, blah. Mine, if you're calling people that you don't know, maybe a resume or a business card, or you're prospecting on Facebook or whatever it is, a lot of people are using the webinar. Okay, so if it's a little bit more cold, you don't know that person. And Shondell wrote this, so thank you for some of these comments. Professional. Thank you, Shondell. You're the only person that's ever called me professional. But it's scheduled time, so it's a little bit more formal. We'll get the link when they register, and it's more like a live webinar with a person. It's interactive in terms of, it's somebody they can see, and allows them to meet the top earner in our hierarchy. Thank you for that, Shondell. I don't talk about myself like that, but yes, it allows me to meet somebody from the hierarchy, me. All right. I think everybody should watch both as they're getting started. Now, first exposure, that's up to you. That's your preference. I want you to know the difference. Now, one thing I will say, and that I'm teaching everybody after I got, thanks Josh, personal financial plan, part-time, and part-time with the opportunity to become a 6-figure earning full-time vice president. One thing, a little adjustment that Josh went over last week that I absolutely loved, and it's already made a difference, because see, sometimes when you hear a great adjustment, you got to make that adjustment fast. Can't make that adjustment. So I relate that to like taking antidote to poison. Take it immediately. Okay, if it's a great adjustment, it fits what you're doing, and you can implement it quickly. Okay, so what I was doing, because I was doing both, I used my webinar and I used the animated video. I would schedule somebody and I would say, hey, Richard, I'm going to send you this video. Watch it. I'll follow up with you. And Richard would drift off into the abyss. And he's gone. And I can't find him. And I'm pissed and I'm upset and I'm depressed and I'm angry. And I take it out on the next person that I invite. And Josh threw this in there last week, and he said something very, was just so, passive in the way he said it. But I picked up on it, and I asked him about it before the meeting. So what he's doing is he's not scheduling a follow-up. See, that's the difference. He's scheduling an interview. And then as he's scheduling the interview, at the end, he's saying, oh, hey, we have a digital overview. Just watch it before we meet. Is that going to be a problem? And gets a firm commitment there. And then by the time they're ready for the interview, they've already had a time to research the company. Now, we control the narrative because we sent them what we wanted to send them. And they're ready. And he said, I already know because I've been notified if they watched it, if they jumped off early, if they completed or picked a path. So he's excited. If he gets the email and it says, I've got a hot prospect, this is hard for Josh, but he's going to look his best, right? He's ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for the hot prospect because I'm getting a new teammate. If it says they're interested, how you feel about what you do is really important, right? If you're going in and they haven't done any research on the company, they haven't seen the company, and you're meeting with them and they're going to throw all these dorky questions at you, it's draining. So if you can go in and they've been primed a little bit, they've been warmed up a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier for you, more effective. And you can do the same thing with the webinar. You're not scheduling a follow-up. You're scheduling a meeting, and then you're driving them to the webinar before they meet with you. And then once they watch it, and yes, in your mind, yes, it is a follow-up from the webinar, it is a follow-up from the thing, but you got to know how to communicate that to the prospect. I'm working on a lot of automation stuff. Some of the people are helping me, and I'm doing a lot of stuff with calendar links. And that's another tip too, right? That, you need to get some sort of calendar scheduling system. Elon Musk was interviewed, right? I mean, he's at any given time can be the richest person in the world, right? I mean, I don't know what his thing is, 300 billion. I have no idea. I'm guessing 100 billion, 150, 250 billion. I mean, Tesla, SpaceX, or whatever his space company is, all the stuff. He was and they asked him, they said, hey, how are you doing all of these things? And he gave a one-word answer. His answer was Calendly. That was his answer. Calendly. So I don't care what calendar system you use, but and talk to your trainers about this. There are many that are free. You can develop them, and a single user, you can use it in a limited version free. So you can use, I'll throw out some. Calendly is a great one. And, text the thing to the chat if somebody knows how to spell it, because I know some people ask me. Calendly, Acuity, what else is there? There's, I'm using something called High Level, but I don't think that's going to be appropriate for, because it's not free, but there's different ones that people can use, and sign up some sort of scheduling system where you can add people to the calendar. They can confirm, they can get some sort of notification in email. They can use a link, play around with it. These are really awesome features. So I'll give you a quick story. I scheduled something with somebody This was, I had them watch Samir's orientation, and then we scheduled the follow-up of that. And she texted me directly and said, hey, I'm not interested after seeing the orientation, which that, just so you know, that means what we did its job. Okay. Because my job, I will help close. I will help you get off the fence, but I am not trying to convince anybody. Okay. Because if I have to super convince you, then I got to super convince you to work too. And then it doesn't work. Right. If I can show you this and expose it, and it's just not for you, great. I save my time. I just know I have to send it to a lot of people to get the right. That doesn't mean that if I talk to Shondell and Shondell's kind of on the fence a little bit, I'm not going to give her a passionate, excited presentation because I know she can do it. But I don't get super distraught if people say, man, I'm not interested. Great. But I scheduled a follow-up and I automated it, everything. I used a calendar link, everything. And I didn't text her anything. She just said, I'm not interested. And I said, okay. And I got busy and I got doing what I was doing. And then I got an email from Zoom saying that she joined the follow-up meeting, but she already texted me the night before saying she wasn't interested. And so I felt bad then. So I called her. I said, hey, I saw you jumped on my Zoom, and she goes, well, I didn't hear from you. So I just, I know we had that meeting scheduled. Think about that. That's why you schedule stuff. Because some people actually show up. That's why you don't do what I said that I was doing before with Richard, where I say, hey, man, watch the video and get back to me. They're going to disappear. But if I schedule meetings all the time with people, some of them are just going to continue to show up because that's what she did that. She texted me already the night before, I'm not interested. And I called and I said, hey, sorry about that. My bad. And, we talked for a minute and she wasn't interested and that was it. But that was eye-opening to me. It let me see that, man, people will show up if we schedule meetings. You have to have an ironclad recruiting process if you want to be a great recruiter. I'm not saying you have to agree with everything Josh was doing when he went through it last week or 2 weeks ago. But he's got an ironclad process. He knows what he's going to say, what questions he's going to ask. He knows how to set up the meetings. He knows how to confirm them. He knows how to check them. And that's why he recruits consistently. And you guys as leaders, if you want to grow your brokerage, you want to grow your agency, you want to get new people, you better have a good process. Doesn't have to be the best, but it has to be a good, solid, ironclad process. People are looking right now, man. They are looking. If you get passionate and focused on building your team, there are great people. You see all these things, you hear about all this supply chain management. People are revolting. They do not want to work these stupid ass jobs, man. They want to do something meaningful, impactful. They want to be part of something. They want leadership. They want mentorship. They want guidance. They want a big payoff. They want freedom. We have to talk to people and we have to tighten up our process. If you get it down and you talk to and you expose your opportunity to a lot of people, you're going to build an incredible team. Incredible team. When you create successful routines, things that attract and promote and make you feel more successful. And that's not just in our business. Like you have to have successful routines here. Contacting people, calling people, following up, understanding the options that people have, but just in general. Right? Most people, they don't want to be better. They want to feel better. There's a difference. Feelings are temporary. Feelings are deceitful. anything can make you feel good. You can watch something, it makes you feel good. You can put something into your body, it'll make you feel good. But being good, feeling better, and being better are totally different things. And that's why habits, winning the morning, daily routine, eliminating all that stuff, toxins in your life, that makes you actually be better. And when you can kind of mesh the two, being better, which makes you feel better, and makes you feel better long-term too, you're unstoppable. So we're going to have an incredible December. I believe that. I know a lot of people are starting fast already. We have training tomorrow. We're working on some awesome new stuff, man. It's going to be released this month. And I do have another announcement to make real quick. Let me pull this up. So on Tuesday, if everybody can see my screen, on Tuesday, December 14th at 7:30 p.m., I will be doing an opportunity meeting at the office. For anybody's local that wants to come, it'll be great. We'll hang out at night. Invite some guests. We'll be doing the op meeting. Note the address, 7:30, Dress for Success. We may have it online. I'm pretty sure we will, but we'll see about that depending on, I'll talk it over with some of the leaders in the office, see what we want to do, but, just to incorporate one more meeting. Obviously we'll be there the 11th in person for Super Saturday. And then we'll be doing our op meeting on that following Tuesday. I wanted to give people enough time to bring people to the office to make sure they can clear their schedule, make sure that it is in person. I am reluctant about talking about if we'll have it on Zoom, because then some of your local guests may back out. So maybe we'll run a waiting room and admit people that are not local or something. We'll figure it out, right? But we're going to be running an opportunity meeting just one time this month, December 14th. So it'll be a great opportunity for us to bring people to have some fun at the office and just incorporate another live in-person meeting where we're ready to go. All right. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Same time as normal, 9:30 a.m. We'll set appointments afterwards. We'll do all our recognition. We will save a lot of our monthly recognition for December 11th. But I look forward to starting out our month today and having our big meeting tomorrow. All right. I'll see you guys later. Appreciate you guys.